Hey guys, how's it going? So, I had a lot of ideas all throughout the day. I had a lot of inspiration. I was at work for 12 hours today, and my work's pretty simple. I work in food service, so I have time to think while I let my mind and my body do other things. And I had a lot of ideas come up. I wasn't exactly sure what to do this video on, but just like the first one, I decided to just kind of go with it and come with the first thing that I could think. So, as you can see here, some free Masonic symbols here, should be pretty familiar to everyone. Lots of interpretation with these. I mean, some would say they know exactly what they mean, but I'm not sure that there is an exact meaning to anything in this world. So, I'm going to explore an idea today of who are the builders of physical reality, that they speak about in the Bible. The master builders, like Saul, a master builder who uses his ability to build the temple. Saul of Tarsus, the sole, the foot. Something Ben from Vat City speaks about being like the foot of the body of Christ. The one that does the legwork. You know, and that got me thinking, like, okay, if in the old world, BC, before Christ, BC 23, 2 divided by 3 is 666. So before Christ, there was the physical, 666. After Christ, after death, AD 1477. Now here's the spirit. Now here's the stone, right? What does that mean exactly for these people? There's this overwhelming narrative I hear a lot that it seems, pretty pliable if these were people, real people going around doing things and constructing things and really building things in this age, although I would argue that they don't. You know, all these things that we see through the media, through YouTube, whatever, events, etc., you know, everyone would argue that they're fake to one extent to another, from slightly fake to rigged to completely, illusionary. I'm like even past the illusionary point. I would say that the brainwashing and the control, the access to information is so tightly controlled that, like, even all the things that you receive as far as the truth goes, it's not like a slip up. It's not something that was unintended to get out. It was meant to get out. And this is an idea a lot of people know about, but I wanted to bring a new perspective to that. So, my perspective is that all of this is done not in an attempt to stop us or in an attempt to destroy us or have us destroy ourselves through this brainwashing, but we can somehow see through it. That's one level to it, but if you go deeper, I feel like all of this is actually intended for our good. And not even from the level of just God. I mean, it is obviously God means us, God loves us, If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, Source loves us, you love yourself, however you want to take it. No judgment here. So I believe that all these things are built, all this control, all this media control, this controlled media access, which can come down to the cellular level. By the way, if you believe some of the things that they put out, they can control what you see, like through your eyes, your neuronic, you know, electrical grid that runs along your brain, whatever you want to call it. The electrical signals, they can control that if they would like to. And I feel like, given that, the symbolic representation of that, not the physical aspect of them literally using machines to control your brain, but the symbolic aspect of them having such control over the environment that they are able to control everything you see, hear, touch, feel, taste, etc., to an extent that they can do anything that they wanted. Why would it have the outcome that it has? You know, if God created everything, which He did, source, etc. I'm just going to refer to it as God. You can take it how you want. That's just my word for it. So I'm going to refer to it as God. So God, when God made everything and made these people, which He did, God made these people. God made these people. God made Satan. God made all these things in the beginning and set them out for a certain purpose, just like He did for you and I. You know, why would it have the outcome that we are able to come to the truth, that we are able to wake up in the first place? How is that even possible if they have such tight control? You would think it would be a little bit more difficult, but it's not. It's really not. Think of how easy it really is. It really is. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. I've been through a lot of abuse. I've been through a lot of pain, emotional pain, mental pain, physical pain, you name it. However, I was never defeated. And in fact, I believe if I were to look back through my life, and I think there's other people who could attest to this, there was never a moment where you were really in danger of being off the course. It may have felt like that, like a roller coaster ride, like a scary haunted house, but it wasn't. Not in reality, not for real. There was no danger there. So just to get to the point here a little bit, this image right here, the pillar, bam, with the globe on top. Okay, this is obviously the globe is a hotly debated topic. I wouldn't really get into the physical matter of reality because at the end of the day, we perceive it as flat as we walk along it, so it doesn't really matter what it is in the grand scheme of things. If there is such a physical construct that could exist outside of our, direct perception of it within our lives. But anyway, a pillar, which in the Bible would talk about a limestone pillar washed with limestone, you know, like there's this concept that uncanny deduction talked about, like limestone washing and being gaslit, being accused of things, being abused, being washed over with lime, you know what I mean? Being washed over with these negative things and having them come into aspects of you and having to deal with that, you know? This pillar, this whole pillar right here, I believe represents them. And this is them right here. This pillar. Bam. They're like the scaffolding to a building that's being constructed. All of it. The very idea of what they are is that. It's a scaffolding. Bam. And the world, the reality, our perception. This is what they built. That's why it's on a pillar. It's built on being whitewashed. It's built on being gaslit. It's built on abuse. It's built on pain. You know, bam, bam. You could say this represents 2 6s, 2 3s, 33, 66. Obviously, little spirals right there. So, what does that mean? Why? What does that matter? Well, I think it's good to have a different perspective on this because if you can see them as the scaffolding for the building of the reality that can manifest the person that you are now, you can see it, they're actually a lot more benevolent than it may seem. It doesn't mean like, it's not even in a sarcastic way. It's not even a way like Matt from Quantum of Conscious would say where it's like, yeah, they do some good, but really they suck. No. I think they literally are like soldiers for God at the end of the day, They can't be good people if they want to achieve that. They just can't. It's not possible. If pain is the teacher, if pain is the process, if a world where you're gaslit, and held in pain, held in suffering, held in torment, held in bondage, and squished through a wine press, compressed and juiced the spirit out of your physical self, juice the awareness out of the nothingness that you're incorporated into. It can't be an easy process, relatively easy. It's easy if you look at it from a high enough perspective, but from our lives, the day-to-day basis is difficult. But you can't have good people running the world and then also have people come to the truth. I just simply don't believe that. It can't be true. It can't be. Think of all the painful things that have happened in your life and what they led you to. You have to put the pieces together here. And just the fact that they exist and the conspiracy and all of the bullshit, essentially, all of the nonsense that's within their mechanisms, just through digging through that garbage, you know, it's like in the Bible, it talks about digging through the dung to find the bread, digging through the dung to have to find the bread, your bread. The bread being like the awareness, the truth, the real pieces of who you are. The dung has to be made by someone. The dung has to be something, you know what I mean? And this is what it is. It's not that it's evil. Like I said, I'd argue the opposite. It has to be this way, you know? And if there are real people walking around doing these things, which with the amount of mind control, I'm unsure if there are real people out there really walking around doing anything outside of your direct perspective, since your physical environment is essentially manifested, immaterial simultaneous with your direct perception of it. But let's just assume for the argument's sake that there are real people walking around out there. Their lives would have led them to be this way so that they could serve this purpose. You see? Like, there's people that are evil to them because they had to be evil to them for them to become this, to be evil to us. Like, it goes on down the chain, you know? So, they essentially built the scaffolding, built the whole undercurrent of what we are. And everything they do, in my opinion, is meant to construct that underlying current of environmental distress for us to metamorphosis, transform into what we really are intended to be. And so I'll go a little bit further here. I'll show this image. I've had a lot of butterfly, moth, synchronicity, you know, and this feels really true to me. This is a big Freemasonic occult symbol, the butterfly, mind control, and that's another point. MK Ultra, mind control, you know, MC 33, mind control, obviously. You see, it has the moon transitioning, full moon, crescent moon, like a cyclical. There has to be a cycle in order for things to grow. There has to be light and then darkness, light, darkness, light, darkness, right? Well, why would the butterfly be symbolic of mind control? Okay, let's set aside the obvious. Let's set aside, okay, they're turning people into something else. It's like they're transforming them. Okay, it's obvious. Let's go deeper, right? The butterfly is like the reason why that's such a big symbol with mind control and with these people. It's like subconsciously, by their God driven purpose, this is their goal. Bam. The butterfly. This is the symbolic realization of their great work. It's the butterfly. And it's not achieving complete control over the environment. That's like the side effect, right? Behind the real purpose. This is to turn us into a butterfly. Us. It's all for us. It's only for us. All things are done for us. You know? God said we are greater anointed than Solomon. We are greater anointed than anyone who has come before us. Everything has been built up for us to have the experience that we're having now. This is the most important time in the history of the world that ever will be. Not saying that time is even real, but you know what I mean. This right now is the most important piece. This is the cornerstone in the entire reality on the record player, on the cyclical disc of time. This is the head. This is the climax here. As strange as that may seem, as anticlimactic as it may seem in your own life, this is it. All of their work has been culminating towards this, and God works through them. So take that into perspective. Think about that. You don't, of course, not everyone's going to agree with that or understand it, but that's okay. Just look at this image. Look at this image, and look at these symbols, and think about what I said. Think about what this means. G, bam. I mean, you could take it so obvious, like that is God, right? I mean, of course, they're false God, Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, the God of the world, material, sure, right? But this was implanted here, bam. Look at this. The G, it's an omega, if you look at it this way. It's also a helmet, right? Helmet, omega. Think about that. What does that mean? Covering of the head, right? Also, two arrows pointing, bam, bam. You know, it's like a very subtle subconscious of like, look, this is the object. It's like us, look, we're protected. We protect. Omega, Alpha and Omega. God is the Alpha, we are the Omega. See? It's like very subtle, you know. If you think about it this way, it makes sense though, you know. But I just wanted to leave you with that. Something light today, something simple. I had a lot more ideas and a lot more detailed, discernment, but it's hard to express it through language. I'm gonna get better. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. If you're watching Uncanny Deduction, Christoph, appreciate you. I hope y'all have a good day, morning, evening, night, whatever it is for you. Good day at work, good day at school, and God bless you. Bless all of you, and I hope you things work out for you. Don't let things get you down. Like I said, understand that's all for a purpose, and it always has been. This is a very important time. Treat it like such. Okay, God bless. I'm out.